actually working on a film right now with Cynthia Mort, who is the person who directed the movie about Nina Simone. Not the documentary, but the very controversial film about Nina Simone. And I took that movie partly because, wow, it's Nina Simone, of course. Zoe Saldana was cast. I'm putting it out there. I did not cast Zoe Saldana. However, we can talk about that because I think it's really an important aspect of this. It was very difficult to get that movie financed. And when I got the call about that movie, I had just done the movie about Cesar Chavez. Another thing, because I'm a history buff, I love casting about historical figures, and also Nina Simone, like you said, goes back to music. It's like, wouldn't that be great to bring her music and her story to so many more people? I loved the documentary that Liz Garbus made. It was beautiful. But this was a different movie. And the movie starred David Oyelowo, who starred in Selma, playing Martin Luther King. Yeah. And I had cast him in that movie I told you about for Sally Potter, Rage. That was the first movie I think he got a job in America. So I knew David, and that was perfect because I thought, well, if he's doing this movie, then there's something to this movie. I didn't know Cynthia Mort at that point. But I met with Cynthia, and I saw her passion for it, and she's like, you know, Zoe, I also saw Zoe record before I even started working on the movie. I went to Capitol Records and watched her work on recording a song, and I was like, wow, this woman is taking a huge risk, and she is brave. And okay, I'm going to go on that journey. And I think that the issues that have come up about her, the issues about her not being black enough, her, you know, using prosthetics, darkening her skin, I think that those issues have become politicized because of the problems that we're having in America and the Black Lives Matter movement. And I'm all for that. And I love Ta-Nehisi Coates. And I think that what he's brought out and the discussions that have subsequently happened and the movement, this political movement, is so important. But I think that attacking the movie and the actress that she's not dark enough, it's more like, okay, let's look at the movie and did it work or not? And if that movie didn't work, it's not only because of her. That's one element. It didn't work maybe because the movie was taken away from the director. I mean, there's so many different elements to that movie. But, you know, would Zoe Saldana have been my choice? That's a different question. I kind of came onto it and felt like, okay, I have to fill out this movie and make it as real as possible. And if you look at like the opening of that movie, I cast this young girl that I found in Baltimore who is a spitting image of Nina Simone and a classical pianist. Oh, wow. And amazing. Wow. That scene is beautiful. There are parts of that movie that are beautiful. I feel like it's questionable when people come to me and say, well, you know, why couldn't they have picked somebody else? I mean, you know, there's so many great black actresses out there, and I agree with them. And I hope that one day, in the not too distant future, we will make movies that will be funded by people who care about just making a great movie and not selling foreign rights. And that's what the problem is. And like, is the money behind these movies? Like, we got to start there.
Well, I think honestly, that was my opinion of the past Oscars, was to blame the Oscars was sort of missing the point. It was, it's you know, it's the people who are making the movies for the audience that they're making it for.
And the people who have that kind of the ability to make those decisions. Like recently, I had a movie that I wanted to make with Wayne Wang that we had gotten money for 20 years ago, and then the budgets that we had weren't approved. Okay, and movie only stars Vietnamese actors. Somehow there was this window that we were going to make it with a studio, a major studio. And then that window passed. And I recently reapproached them because recently I'm really interested in doing a story about Vietnam and the Vietnamese in America, because we've never seen their story. We always see the Vietnam vet. And the Pulitzer Prize was just won by Viet Nguyen, who wrote this, Viet Thanh Nguyen, who wrote The Survivors. It's a beautiful book. I had optioned a book a long time ago with Wayne Wang and Oliver Stone involved called A Good Scent from a Strange Mountain by Robert Olin Butler. It's this gorgeous, gorgeous book. It won the Pulitzer. But when I recently tried again, they were like, you know, we might buy this movie from you, but we can't make it. And until you get everybody realizing, like, you can make stories that are universal And people will go to that movie and go to that because they relate to it, because there's authenticity and truth. And what the problem, like Nina in that movie, is like people already were like, wait, this isn't authentic, this isn't true. I think if you can make heartfelt stories, you can make them about anybody. Sure. But somebody has to have the balls to make it.
Yeah.
And that's the issue.
You have to have the balls to make it. It sounds like that's the takeaway from this conversation.
Sorry.
No, absolutely. You had the balls to step away from a really steady gig working with a really high profile director on really high profile films to, you said, to sort of accommodate your lifestyles with what you said, having a child. But me knowing you, I'm wondering if also there was this desire to be more entrepreneurial.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. And I don't think I think the kind of filmmakers that I'm interested in are auteur-driven filmmakers. It's not like the studios are all saying, "Oh, Heidi, come on over."
Right.
No, the material and the kind of things that I want to do are not necessarily being made. I am not doing action sequels, tentpole movies. I think because people don't really think of me that way, and frankly, I don't either.